what happened to the old classic flavors? What happened to them like Granddaddy Perp, Northern Lights, Girl Scout cookies, White Widow? That's my favorite one, by the way. I love White Widow. That is my all-time favorite. That was one of the first strains I ever smoked, and I haven't been able to find it in years. So if you do know of anyone with a clone, a seed, some flour, let me know. I love it. Yeah, what about Red Congolese or OG Kush or Blueberry? That old school indica. I miss those. Those are like land races to me now. I mean, they're so original and they're so far out. They're so far gone. They're so far crossbreeded that it kind of stinks we don't remember these. Anyway, this is Austin with America's Podcast. Welcome if this is your first time listening. This is a cannabis educational podcast where we try to educate everyone from the first person ever to see cannabis to the hardcore stoner. We look to relate to each and every one of you. And ultimately, this is educational, informational, and also fun. This is also an entertaining podcast, explicit, so please don't have anyone less than 21 listening. And yeah, the purpose of this episode I'd like to talk about is what makes a great dispensary. What makes a storefront that you want to keep going back to and keep giving your money to? Because look, we all know it's cheaper from Joe Blow in the fucking alley than it is at the storefront. But guess what? A lot of the times, and the quality can sometimes be the same, but a lot of times it's better at the storefront. Obviously, it's tested. That's a huge plus because nothing on the black market is tested, whether it's a vape or flower or this and that. So unless you know the grower and their practices and techniques, it's hard to trust, especially vapes. We're going to get that into another episode about vaping, but ultimately, why do you want to keep going back to the storefront? What makes a good storefront? If you're a soon-to-be business owner, developer, or you're just a customer, what makes you want to keep going back? What makes you want to go to a different city and check out this dispensary? Why are they so well-renowned? Well, I'm going to tell you the attributes that make up a good dispensary. But first, I must say, this episode is sponsored by Santa Cruz Medicinals. That's a good buddy of mine. This is hemp-derived CBD that can be shipped all across the country. Unfortunately, cannabis-derived CBD right now cannot be, with the legal shipping terms and federal BS regulations, all that good stuff. So visit SantaCruzMedicinals.com. Use code APC5 for $5 off any order. They make things such as coconut oil, CBD infused, nootropic caps. So if you're looking to get stuff done and you don't want to use coffee or green tea per se, but you still want that drive and that focus, the nootropic caps is perfect for that. And then deep sleep caps. Actually used some last night and got it in front of me right now. It has things like theanine and valerian root. 100 milligrams of CBD just in 2 capsules. So it's got the dosage that is there. A lot of CBD companies are like 10 milligrams, small amounts. That's not going to do squat for you. Take a listen to our episode with Santa Cruz Medicinals. He'll tell you the real dosage. And they are the ones to get it if you're in a state, especially that you're not even medical. This is at least what you can do for now. It's the best you can do for now. Again, that's code APC5 for $5 off any order. All right, so you're in a new state and you're looking to visit a storefront, or let's say you're building. What makes a good storefront? Well, let's start out with everything from driving to the dispensary to walking out the exit. Well, driving to the dispensary, it better have good access. It better be accessible from a highway or two. It shouldn't be off way deep in the cut. Unfortunately, with the regulations, a lot of these have to be, quote, industrial zoned, so they won't be in the downtown areas or the really nice bougie shopping areas yet. They will be, but not right now. So unfortunately, trying to be off in the cut and being zoned properly is quite a task. But there is still places that have great locations nonetheless. Your storefront should have accessible street signs that say, hey, dispensary and yada yada miles, or turn left and then a right at this corner, and we're here. Having some sort of street signs is great. Obviously, being well lit. If it's at nighttime and you're traveling to the dispensary and there's one little green cross light on and a light under the security guy, that's kind of sketch. Let's make it well lit. Let's make it look like a freaking normal store, not a scary, weird, trappy store, you know? So that's a must. I think well lit at night and just being approachable and accessible is huge. That's the first thing, right? I mean, if you don't have weed maps and you're traveling just off of looks or navigation on just trying to find the store, you better hope that you have things leading up to your store to point people in the right direction. Next, I know we're not even a storefront yet, and I'm talking so much about this. Have good parking. I've been to so many storefronts that have crap parking or 4 spaces for 20 customers, and they have to park a half a mile down the street, and now you're already kind of mad that you got to pay $2 for city parking an hour, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, have ample parking for your customers. Again, that's kind of hard. You got to pay more money to get a bigger piece of property, but you will, at the end of the day, have more customers. Customers like ease of access. They like to do things conveniently. If you put them in a place where they have to park far, they can't find it, they're already over it. They're already coming in with a bad attitude, so a bad persona about the shop. So having plenty of parking is great. Having a beautiful attraction outside, let's say like a painted surface or just something that's going to bring people in. I've seen like a big anchor near in San Diego at one of their stores, or here at Airfield, there's obviously SJC right nearby, the San Jose airport. So there's things that you can put like outside to kind of make your store front more attractive without saying dispensary or without disrupting your county's regulations. Let's talk about, as soon as you get in the door, having nice staff. Having good staff is so crucial, because if you have any member on your team and they kind of have a negative attitude and they brush that along to the customer, boom, they're liable to have a bad experience throughout the whole time they're in the storefront. It's just inappropriate to have staff that ultimately is unhappy with what they're doing or has a bad perception of the company or this and that. Have friendly staff. I'm telling you, that makes you go back to anywhere way quicker. I mean, I used to bartend for a while, and I knew other bartenders that were really nice, and I don't even drink a lot, but I would go to them and say hi just because they're friendly and they enjoyed other people's company. And hopefully, if you have a purposeful dispensary, they believe in the mission too. That's huge. Buying into the company's mission is real. Also, maybe having something when you walk into the store that has like, hey, I need help, I'm a first timer, or I need help just in general, or hey, I've been here and I don't need help. I know what I want. Don't bug me. I'm high right now and I don't want anyone to talk to me type of deal. So maybe having like baskets labeled as could use help or don't need help. I think that's very crucial. I mean, there's some dispensaries I just want to go in and talk to the bud tenders and browse around and talk to the staff and this and that. And there's other times where, hey, I want to go pick up this edible and this eighth. Don't talk to me. Like, I'll get my products and then I'll get to the register, and then at that point you can talk to me. I think that's having both of those is crucial. So that kind of develops this thing called floating staff. You kind of have to have a floating staff and a fixed staff. I think that's the best, to where you have your fixed bud tenders behind the counter, behind the registers, and then you also have floating staff members where they go around and check on customers and they kind of see how you're doing, see how your experience is going, this and that. I think having both of those is pretty crucial, and I've only seen a few stores do it. And the stores that did it seemed to have a better flow, meaning like lines, just customers waiting in line, and they just had a better customer experience because everyone was being helped to the way that they wanted to be, if that makes sense. Also, if you can afford it, have a big open floor plan. Just like Apple, just like a lot of these shops, they have big open floor plans for a reason. It allows the customer to feel at ease, to feel chilled out, to browse around, to shop. I guarantee you people spend more money when they're allotted the time to browse around and chill and not feel pressured because you're in a line and you have to wait for the next bud turner available and the person behind you had a bad day and you can feel it and you feel rushed. Not cool. Not cool. So having an open floor plan I think is crucial. Also, something weird, something that kind of gets passed under the radar, but sniff jars. You want to smell that flower, right? You want to smell that beautiful product that grower just spent all 4, 5, 6 months working on. Having a ghetto ass sniff jar like a mason jar, I've been to a couple of stores like this. Super weird, super just like I don't like it. I've also been to stores where you have the classic sniff jar, which is a clear plastic cylinder or a circle, kind of like a saucer, and it has a little rubber stopper for the aroma, for the weed, for the terps. That shit does not work. It never seals right. It leaks air into there, thus making the bud smell less and less and less every day. And before you know it, 2 weeks in, your bud doesn't have any smell, no terpenes. So having a quality smell jar should not be overlooked. It's just another thing that's going to make the customer's experience that much better. I know this is a little nitpicky stuff, but I'm telling you, if you're a business owner listening to this and you got BS smell jars, step up your game, bro or sis. It's one of those little things that will make your business look that much better. Also, it'll make the weed in there last longer, smell fresher for the customers. They have more of a app to buy it at that point. Believe me, your nose knows, meaning that no matter what the THC numbers are, no matter what the color of the weed, the beautiful bag appeal, the terps, I feel like at the end of the day, are probably one of the biggest factors for me to buy cannabis, to buy weed. I feel like if it doesn't have a nose or the nose just is stagnant or it's just like, it's not there for me, I don't care to buy it. I really don't. If it's got some crazy nose, some weird chemi smell, stank smell, sweet smell, I'm more liable to buy it. Believe that for sure. So don't have your 3-week-old weed in a jar already be degraded, have no terpenes, this and that. Have some good smell jars. That'll make them last longer. All right, let's go into the next topic, labeled sections. I've been to some dispensaries where they have all of their brands organized by brand. So thus meaning if you're looking to get a pre-roll, they have pre-rolls by King's Garden and also their flower and also their extracts right in the same shelf, same box. I don't like that. I don't like that because if I'm looking to get a vape by this company, a eighth of flower by this company, and edible by a different company, I'm gonna have to go all around the store and I'm not gonna know where to start. I don't want to go in each case and look to each brand and try and nitpick everything. No. Have it labeled in the correct form of like vapes, edibles, flower, tinctures, topicals. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot easier for the customer to walk in the shop, especially if they're a first timer, and be like, okay, I think I want a vape. All right, well, I'm going to walk over here. Oh, I want an edible. Oh, I'm going to walk over here. It's a lot easier than just having things labeled in a different way instead of having it labeled by the type of consumption. I ultimately think that's the best at the end of the day. Having lots of products. I've been to stores where they don't have a lot of products or they have the same products as the next guy because they are using the same distributor. Have different products. Have a unique product. Have so much products that people continue to get new stuff from you every time they visit because they're like, oh, wow, I love the quality of your flower, but look, I want to try this company. I want to try that company. Look at all the other companies you have to try. And especially if they like the quality, they're going to keep coming back and back and back. So having lots of product, I think, if you can afford it and have the shelf space and inventory, I think is crucial. It's kind of an inventory nightmare, especially if you have somebody unexperienced in that position. But it shouldn't be too bad, honestly, if you have the space for it. also, that brings up another point. Having exclusivity deals like Santa Cruz Veterans Alliance, they have exclusive rights in Santa Cruz to sell 710 Labs or Cookies, or I forget the other companies. But Paul Taylor, the buyer and the general manager at SCVA, has set up to where he literally has talked to the heads of these companies and said, hey, don't sell your product in any other store in Santa Cruz County but ours, but we are going to sell way more than any other store. We're going to sell it for the price point that you want it to. Oh, no. And hey, guess what? We're going to have that on sale on a % off 3 or 4 days a week. And that allows more incentive for your customers to come get it, more people just to buy it. And ultimately, kind of, it gives smaller companies like 710 Labs that are already pretty darn exclusive more exclusivity. It gives them more of an edge or a private reserve type feel. And if you're looking to shop for top flower, top extracts, that's kind of the way to go. If you do 5-star stuff and your stuff is that freaking good, you might want to think about doing exclusivity rights to a storefront in a certain area. Just because, look, you probably already don't have a ton of product like humongous companies like Cresco and Booth bulk companies. But you know what? The product you do have, you want to sell the price point that you want it to, and it's damn good already. So work with somebody, especially with a company that has purpose like Santa Cruz Veterans Alliance. They give free weed to veterans. That's pretty cool. Try and find another dispensary that does that or something along those lines. Good luck. That gives a nice market for other people. I think last but not least, what makes a good storefront is, and I know it can't be like this because of city regulations in some areas and not enough security, this and that, but having products that you can touch. What that means is that instead of having a product in a glass case that you can't really touch the product, you can't flip it around and look at the back and see their little side story and see the little other side notes that they put on their packaging and glammed it out. It kind of stinks that you can't go and pick up each product. I love storefronts that you can. So let's talk about Apple, for instance. You walk into Apple and you're like, okay, I want a MacBook Pro. You can go look and touch and hold the 13-inch version, the 15-inch version, the 17-inch version of these MacBooks. You should be able to do the same thing with weed. Yes, you're going to have more security and staff because at this point it's very accessible and someone can easily pocket their weed or their vape or whatever. But ultimately, I think you're going to sell more because people are more willing to spend when they can just browse around freely and they don't have to talk to a bud center yet again and point out, hey, I want to see this and that. Because believe me, when I'm going to look at these products, I don't want to say to the bud center, hey, can you pull me this product, this product, this product, this product. I don't want them to give me 5 freaking things and be like, oh, I'm good. I don't want any of those. Let me see those other 2 things. When in reality, if these products were out in the storefront, easily accessible in their labeled category products, and when I go to look at these 3 types of edibles, I might buy all 3 versus me talking to the bud center and only looking at 2 of the edible products because I felt pressured because I didn't want them to go out of their way, even though it's their job, to go out of their way to grab me another product. So having the products to where you can physically grab them, touch them, I think is ultimately the way to go. All these companies are putting in so much money into packaging, stinks they're not putting in quality, that it's kind of nice to look at what they've done and see their unique side of things and to see if they actually are doing anything good for the community or do have that fire quality. It's, I think, just touching all the products and not being behind glass cases, if you can allot to it, I think that's the way to go, for sure, for sure. Getting pretty far, right? Yeah, you didn't think a dispensary would be so hard to freaking build, would it? Well, not, believe me, I've never been to a storefront that has all these attributes, but hopefully one day. And like I said, if you're a business owner, these are things to look out for. Okay, so what makes a bad dispensary? I'm going to go through it real quick, and then I'm going to tell you the extras that a dispensary can offer to bring in more more cash flow, this and that. Anyway, dun dun dun. What makes a bad dispensary? Location. If it's not near a highway, if it's not easily accessible, if it's not well lit, if it doesn't have signs leading up to it, if it looks like a normal ass store, good luck. If you have crappy parking, good luck. No one greeting you besides a rude security guard, good luck. The reception area is outside. I've been to a couple of places where it's outside and you have to wait. My puppy is snoring in the background. Sorry if you can hear. Very cute. I've been to a reception area where it's outside and you're in the freaking cold or you're in the heat and it's just not optimal. A small floor plan. Then again, I know, believe me, if you already purchased your business a while ago or you didn't have the upfront capital or the property wasn't available to have a big floor plan, I know you got what you got. You got to work with it. But if you have a big floor plan and it's open, that's the way to go. If the staff is mean or not helpful, good vibes only. I'm sorry, I'm not going to repeat my business at some place that has dickhead staff. It's just not happening. If the staff is asking you too many questions or not enough, yet again, that's why I like the labeled basket idea or something to pinpoint that, hey, I'm the first timer, I need questions to ask, or hey, I am the stoner, I'm high right now, don't freaking talk to me. Don't ask me all your questions. I think having some type of way to, as soon as you walk in the store, I think somehow you got to introduce that. How easy is it for someone brand new to navigate through your store? Meaning, as soon as they walk in, do they not know where to go? Is there no one helping them? Is there no route or flow of people? What does it look like for someone brand new to cannabis walking into your store? Just think about that. So if you're looking like again, you want to vape an edible, do we have to look through 20 different brands to find this? Or hey, can I find, there's vape written on the wall. Oh, there's edibles written on the wall. Maybe I should walk over there. Yeah, no, you see what I'm saying. If you can't touch the product, if you can't physically touch it, I think that's a big deal. Carrying the same product as all the other stores in the area because that's the same distributor going through. Boring. Let's get some exclusivity in there. If your smell jars are ghetto or doesn't have any terps left because they leak, bye-bye. If it's cash only, that's a huge deal. I hate going to dispensaries that are cash only. I don't have cash. A lot of the times, 80% of the people don't have cash. It's annoying to go to the ATM, and then you get a fee with the ATM, and then you have to re-wait in line, and then you meant to be only in the store for 20 minutes. Now you're there for 20 minutes because you had to wait in the ATM line. You see where I'm going with this? Having a debit card fee, that's annoying as hell. That's just as bad as going to the ATM. Just get your shit straight. Have a debit card processing machine, whatever. I know it's hard right now, but other storefronts can do it. You can too. I'm sorry that the business owner might have to pay more, but guess what? People are more willing to spend more money because of this. Don't overlook it. If your dispensary is on the second floor or has 2 floors, that kind of makes it hard for disabled people or people that just got injured. Cannabis is a medicine. People are going to get cannabis because they feel some type of way. If you have to make them walk upstairs, that's not good. That's not good, especially for elderly or disabled veterans or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, have it on the first floor. That's often overlooked. That's quite a bit why you should not overlook the little things. That's the bad things in dispensaries. All right, now let me go over the extras. I've gone over the main things, the necessities of what makes a great dispensary, but let me go over like some extras that I really, really think could make your dispensary a B grade store into an A+ store. This is what I think it needs. Excuse me. I'm kind of all over the place. Let me take a sip of this coffee real quick with some Santa Cruz Medicinals, CBD, MCT oil. I love it. Super easy to mix. All right, we're back in it. Okay. being a purpose-led brand or dispensary, I think is huge. There's so much that people don't understand why not only is a good selling point and marketing point, but why it just means something more to have a company that does more than just make profit. It just means so much more to you, to your customers, to your employees, to your heart to your consciousness when you go to bed at night, that look, not only are my investors happy, but so is the community or the veterans or the people that I help, through which I've made money through my dispensary. I just think there's so much more to this than just making a profit. This industry and this plant started out and is still a medicine to so many freaking people. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that in Prop 64, it's all recreational. It's all, 21 and up. Here we go. Go get you some weed. No, let's not forget the patience. Let's not forget the compassion and where it came from. If your dispensary can have a compassion program where they give free cannabis to XYZ group, good for you. Do it. You're probably going to make more money. And I'm not saying this because of the money thing. I'm saying this because I think ultimately at the end of the day, your heart and your brain is going to be happy. All right. Purpose-led branding. Okay, we got that. Now, another little thing. Offer something free for your first-time patients, like a rolling tray or a free pre-roll or this and that. It's just a little cool incentive, and people just love that shit, especially if it's a first-time user of cannabis or somebody from out of state. It's like that little novelty item that they're going to bring back with them to home, that it's just cool to have, man. It's just cool. It's good marketing for you too. I mean, if you got a little lighter that has your dispensary name on it or whatever, it's just cool. People like that shit. Discounts and loyalty programs. I think that goes a long way. I think a good amount of storefronts now have loyalty programs and this and that, but they always change, and they're just not like well thought through, and they just don't have. Do you hear my dog? Luna. I had to wake her up. I'm sorry. She was snoring way too much. And she kind of looks grumpy that I did that. Having discount and loyalty programs, I think, are huge. Once again, for vets, first responders, students, nurses, it just makes people want to spend more money in your storefront. It makes people want to keep going back, knowing that, hey, my $5, I'm going to get 50 cents or $1 back, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, yet again, it just keeps that reoccurring customer coming back. I think that's huge. Eventually, one day when I have my own cannabis company, I want to do this, but I want to offer free products for a certain amount of beach cleanup waste. So let's say you come into my storefront and you have a 5-gallon bucket full of beach cleanup bullshit, and you took a picture or video of yourself while doing it. Hell yeah, you're going to get $20 off that day or something, like, let's help each other out. Like, you're still going to make your little margin, you're still going to make your little profit, but guess what? They helped the earth out. That helps you, the community, and everyone else out. And now they're helping your business out because they're becoming a customer and they love what you do and you love what they did, and you're rewarding them, and in turn, they're rewarding you. Look, this is a whole cycle. Rising tide lifts all boats, baby. We got to help each other out, and in return, it's going to help you out. Don't be a freaking greedy fuck that's only profit driven. I'm telling you, that won't work. We're seeing companies that did this in 2016, 17, 18, 19. They're all failing. Sorry, I'm very, very passionate about this. It's just, I think as humans, we need to get over this money thing and really start helping out other people. And then in return, you're going to get this little thing that's called money. And whoop-de-doo. You'll be able to buy a jet ski. There you go. I think having a discount for reviewing your company or storefront, I think that's huge. Whether it's Yelp, Google, Weed Maps, iHeartJane, I think having a discount for doing that yet again is just going to offer reoccurring people. And they're going to want to, most of the time, leave a 5-star review, because I don't think you're going to get an incentive for leaving a 1-star review. So, yeah. And if they did, hopefully you can hash that out with them and figure out how to get that 1-star to a 5-star. Um, Yet again, having a one-story building, if you have disabled patients, it's going to be really hard for them to walk upstairs, or having an elevator, that's just another hard thing to have in a building to keep maintenance up with, all that good shit. Um, Selling smoking accessories. So like, okay, yeah, I just bought some flour, but now I don't want to go to the local smoke shop to get papers and a grinder and a roller and all this. So smell, sell smoking accessories. I think that's just another way to please the customer and make money. Also, another one of the little extra things with that beach cleanup thing I talked about is also I want to sell local art made from local artists for charity. So whether they like pick the charity or we pick the charity, I think that would be super dope. Like it would be pretty cool if they could literally make art for your dispensary that kind of has the same vibe and same culture as your dispensary, and then you sell that shit. Like that's pretty freaking cool. Like not only does it add like a layer of beautifulness to the dispensary, but then again, when it's gone, it also adds a beautifulness to life and to helping that charity out. So, yet again, rising tide lifts all boats. Y'all get where I'm going with this, huh? Um, yeah, I think that's huge. And then delivery. Delivery is a really complex thing. It adds a lot more staff, regulations, inventory, all this good stuff. So if you can front the delivery side of things, do it. That's hard, but it also, I think, might add more profits. I don't know. But I'm just putting that out there in the air that I think delivery could be a profitable sector if you can and choose to open it. Yeah. With all this being said, this is a good basis if you have the right regulations and the people backing you to build a beautiful storefront that helps out not only the people in the community but also yourself and your investors or whoever the hell. I think we need to be a team in this industry, in this community, to really make things work. Nothing's going to happen by itself. Nothing's going to happen by one singular company. We all need to come together, and we can even be competing in the same market in the same company. Let's say we're two of the same edible. We both make gummies, person A and person B. But I think ultimately, if we give back to the community, if we do more than just make profits, I think both companies have a chance to really succeed. I think the greedy company that really only has flashy packaging and just a well-known name and good marketing, I think the quality and the unpurposeful led brand isn't going to work. And we're seeing that right now. We're seeing the people that have glamorous packaging and big money and big marketing still not really get the eyes of the true consumers and the people that really consume on a regular basis. And those are the people you kind of want to capture, right? Especially if they're going to be most of your market, you know? Okay, guys, this is a great episode about what makes a good and a bad dispensary. I want to talk about a couple other things. And I want to shout out, yet again, Santa Cruz Veterans Alliance, because they don't have the biggest storefront. They have actually a storefront that's smaller than my freaking garage. And yet they make a killing, and they are doing great things for the community. I want to point out why their quote minimalist shop is great. They have you can literally walk in 10 steps, walk back 10 steps, and boom, that's the whole storefront. Why they kill it and why they're going to continue to kill it is because they offer the necessities. They have the necessities. Not only are they purpose-led, that's the biggest thing to me, purpose-led. They give back to their veterans. They give free medical cannabis to veterans every 30 days. As long as you have a medical marijuana card and a positive discharge. What am I looking for? Not positive. Honorable discharge. Wow. You get free cannabis from them. How wild is that? How cool is that? They have exclusive rights. They have the dopest dope there. They have really good stuff. Not only do they have the best extracts like 710 and cookies and Their own flower, amazing. I think it's the best flower out. They also have the other side of that too. They have bargain stuff. They have $20 eighths out the door. They have half-gram vapes for $20. I mean, they have everything for almost every person. So not only do they have a small-ass storefront, but they basically can meet almost any freaking need of any person walking through that door, whether it be a first-timer or a stoner. I think that's freaking cool. I think Paul Taylor and his staff that he's built, and Jason and Aaron are freaking killing it. Good for them. I love it. Y'all are motivating. I hope the rest of the industry can reflect on what you're doing. Let's see, what other things make SCVA great? Most of their staff is veterans. Now, I'm not saying veterans are better than civilian, but I think that's pretty cool that yet again, they're helping out the community in that aspect. Their parking is pretty good. Unfortunately, it is off in the cut. It is kind of hard to find. You really have to Google it to find it. But that's because of their county regulations. They were lucky to even get a storefront and their license, and the whole community put up a fuss because they weren't about to give it to SCVA. But they grandfathered them in, and it's been nothing but a blessing for the community ever since. So unfortunately, they are in the cut, and that's not on their own doing. They can't do anything about that, but they do so much other stuff, and I go there and I drive almost 45 minutes, and I have stores 10 minutes from me, multiple stores, and I choose to drive to them. So yeah, shout out them. If you're looking for, yet again, another dispensary to base your business off of, look at them. Look no further than them. I think if they were to have the capital to build a big-ass storefront that's on a really nice area and on a main street, I think they would and they could, and they have the tools to do so. So, yeah. And why is it important as a customer, as a consumer, to shop at good storefronts and not shitty, sketchy ones? Well, support business that you like. Support a business. Show with your dollar signs that you like what they're doing, and show with their money that you don't like what the other people are doing. If you like Android more than Apple, don't buy any Apple products. Buy all Android products. It's just kind of common sense. Like, hey, show your support with your money and your voice and your word of mouth and your love, ultimately. So if you really like a storefront, shout them out, give them the respect. If you don't like a storefront, sorry, but put them under the bus. Shout them out. Tell people why they're bad and why they shouldn't visit. We need to clean up our industry. Hashtag clean up our industry. This is just, it's almost rampant. The market is showing why we don't need these crappy cannabis companies that don't mean shit, but they're just backed by big money. Show them with our dollar signs why we don't like them and why we like X, Y, Z, you know? Thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate it. This episode turned out to be a lot longer than I expected, but I love it. This is why a good dispensary is good and why a shitty dispensary is bad. So, yeah, if you support us, if you support America's Podcast, leave us a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify or whatever the hell platform it is. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter. I'm taking a little Instagram break right now. Dude, yeah.